So I went online and I went into where I live in Ride, the Red Hat Society. Well, it was closed. So
Good thing for us.
Yeah, it is. So I went into Portsmouth and I found cleaning. And that's how I started and I joined. What year was it? The first year?
2002.
The end of the first year.
Was that online?
I went online. Yeah.
Oh, yes, way back.
Looking for a house with Carolyn. We bought a house, and Carolyn invited me to come to Red Hat, and I can't thank her enough. I mean, it was such a wonderful way to meet people when you're new to town.
We can't thank me enough either, because she's great.
I'll go there.
All right.
Okay.
After left in the summer home in October 2008. I had to go to Curbs during the summer when I was younger, so I didn't eat meat. And I needed. Somebody said, "Oh, aren't you going to be one way up there?" All my friends said, "I'm only down here, you're all married." And so all of a sudden he just said, "Would you be interested in joining Red Hat?" And I said, "Sure." So I got to eating. She got my social life going. And then she invited me to play mahjong. That made a monster out of me. I even had my own set. And then I started going to bowling. But she got me going.
Yes. And as we were standing in the snow on this piece of property, and you said to us, "I think this is it." And we moved to York, and here we are. You invited me, and it must have been around the first year, I'm figuring.
Yes.
You know what? I've been doing so many things for so many years around here. People say, "How long you've been here?" I said, "You know what? It's been enough so that I don't know where I've started and where it's going to end." But it's been the best thing, and we've done all the exciting different things we've done. We've tried a few things with bowling. We didn't get too many people. We go here, we go there. A group of us actually went to New York City one year, which was amazing to have 2 carloads of people go to New York City and traipse around say bars and
And my husband died in '02, and I lived near her, and so she invited me to come, and I think I would have died if I hadn't joined the Red Hatters. Thank you,
We
Carrie.
love having you, Bobby.
Well, I saw it in the newspaper, and I said, "Oh man, these people are crazy." I was about to and my big 50 midlife crisis was going to Romania. I said, "Well, this is something I can do on an ongoing basis." But I was too cheap to go buy a pink hat for 1 month, so I waited a month, and that's when I had sat with these 3 who I thought had known each other for like their entire lives. You, Dawn, you again, me again. And I did buy my house through Carrie's agency, but I never met her.
Jane, you're on the spotlight.
Oh, yeah. I think it was 2 years ago that I started, and 2.5 years ago.
I know, I thought she'd been here
I've only been
forever.
back here 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
And I was returned to the seacoast after living in other states for a while. And my good old friend Dawn is the one that brought me in. And I was convinced by her. So I came here with a wig and a red hat on. And met all you wonderful people.
And now look at you.
And now look at you.
Feels like you've been here already.
I remember John used to talk about it. Jane Trafton, who lived in Illinois.
Good friend, yeah.
She's in Ohio. And she'd go on and on about Jane Trafton. And then Jane was coming back. Jane's coming back. So I'm not aware of when Jane is coming back, but somebody said, "This is Jane Trafton." I'm like, "Jane Trafton, I know you!"
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it was a dark. It was about 400 years ago. And I was walking along
along this dark path.
With a camel.
And the wind was blowing, and leaves were coming off the trees. And lo and behold, what did my eyes see? But this exotic creature in a diamond tiara with an orb in her hand. I said, what is that? And I was at first very afraid to approach her because I thought she was a ghost. But I did. And I said, much as I do on the telephone. And she informed me that she was a
Martha.
And the group hasn't been the same since. Well, in real life, I'm Martha Ammon, but in my fantasy life, I'm Princess of Pandora, and it really is a true being. And as Princess of Pandora, I open doors unexpectedly, and I find many wonderful things. One of which was Julie Cardot. And Julie Cardot said, Martha, I belong to a fun organization and I want you to come, which I did. But as Princess of Pandora, I lose my way often. I run out of crumbs and I don't get there nearly as often as I should. But I've had a wonderful time here and I appreciate everybody. And today, Queenie called. That's nice. Invited me to come because as Princess of Pandora, my computer works against me.
Yes.
I have all kinds of problems with my computer, so.
Understandable. Ann?
Well, I'm going to tell a story on Princess Pandora because I was out with my family and talking about the Red Hat ladies and how much fun we had together. And at the next table, as was at the New England Center, there was a whole table of Red Hat ladies, none of whom I recognized until I got closer. And there was one person that I did recognize. And Miss Princess was cheating on us with another Red Hat. Which is perfectly allowed because there are no rules in Red Hat. But I was a little shocked.
I can explain it all.
Those ladies were just as lovely as the ladies here. And my first time here, Carolyn and I were roommates in college. So she's responsible for a lot of things. Anyway, she and I were roommates, and we re-met a couple of times at Portsmouth, not knowing where the other one was, just kind of what the last time she was renting an apartment above mine, and I had no idea. So then we started looking for houses, and Caroline was our agent, and I said, I have a lot of friends in work, but I have no outside friends. And I don't know what I'm going to do when I retire. And so she suggested I come. And my very first time, Caroline, she's a little late, but she's there.
Usually.
She never came. And it was time for me to introduce myself. Or she to introduce me, and she wasn't there. So I had to stand up and say, well, I'm Caroline's guest, but she's not.
I sort of have problems with calendars. I took me the galley hat and what I thought was our red hat day, and I found this whole nice collection of people with red hats. And I think they were the Hampton group, actually. It's pretty embarrassing when you're walking around by yourself dressed like this when you're with a bunch of other people, or at least one other person. You don't feel quite so ridiculous. But I just came in and sat down. They were very nice to me. And I was off by a week. But, I know, technology is great, we gotta look at it.
That's cute.
And then there was a time I forgot to make the reservation. Last month at my house, Queenie called me that morning to make sure I was home. I knew damn well why she was gone. And I tried to just be else cheery and polite, but I'm like,
Can I
you're
pick
just
something
checking
up
on
for
me.
you? It's really good of you, honey, for the party at your house today.
Yeah. Bookie.
Long ago and far away, and it just didn't get us. I used to go to hockey games at UNH when I was a student there, and I always sat in the same section, and I always sat next to the same couple. And I moved back to Portsmouth about 10 or 11 years ago, and I was working down in Cambridge, and I was spending hours a day commuting, and I had no friends here and had no social life here. And I thought, it's time to reconnect with people because I'm going to be retiring in a couple of years. And so I thought about people who might be in Portsmouth. And I thought of Ellen and Mary. And we started going to hockey games together again. And she invited me to join.
That's great.
And I'm so glad to meet all of you. And now I'm retired, so I can play.
Excellent.
In with Polly. She had, you know, we're mother-in-laws in common, if you will. And she said that she was going to a meeting and she wondered if I would like to join her. And she probably continued for another year and a half after that, has dropped out. But the group is fabulous and we really had some good times together. So,
Well, actually, I had heard about Red Hats through Joni Lovett. She was my next door neighbor, and she kept saying, and we both worked at the time, and she still does, I don't. And so anyway, she said, you're gonna have to come down and at least see what it's like, you know? And I said, well, all right. Okay. Well, I've been here ever since. And I don't remember when that actually happened. It was a while back.
It was a
She
while
doesn't
ago.
live next door to me anymore. So it's been a
No.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It was a while ago.
that's right.
Excellent. And how did you get here, Miss Precious?
Oh, because of Miss Katie. She told me all the exciting things that everybody did. And it must have been a couple of years after it was established. I think it wasn't the very first year. And, you know, I've been coming to and I've enjoyed meeting all everybody.
That's great. That's great.
I don't remember when I came, but I came in through Dawn. But one of the events I really remember that got me interested was William Mystery Trips. And it was the one over at the farm where you go through the hay.
The cornfield.
Yep, the cornfield. That was so much fun. I remember tramping through the mud with Bobby.
So you never know where you're going to end up with these mysteries.
Oh, wait a minute. She's trying to sneak out. Wait a minute.
What?
You got to speak before you leave. I'm going to run out of battery before you get
I
back.
don't know how long I've been here, but Donna brought me, and I just love this group. I really do enjoy it, and I have a great time. I can't think of anything else. I haven't yet learned how to dress like Donna, but I'm just at the
Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Woo!
I came, I think it was in May. The first meeting was the same one we went to, and it was at that Italian restaurant on State Street.
Roses.
Yeah, right. And what happened was I was moving up from Lexington, Mass, and I didn't know anybody up here. So somebody I knew was in a Boston chapter, so I went online and found one of Mary's Queens, and I called Queenie. And then after I was started, then I met Carolyn, and Carolyn was our buyer for the house we bought. I know, right off, right here.
Who brought you in here?
Well, my sister-in-law, who's the queen, and my mother-in-law, we were the three that were at the first meeting, and we're all McGee's. But yeah, you know, that's sort of why we started, but it isn't why we continue. It's all the rest of you is why we continue, because it's great, you know, all the. And so the 10th anniversary of SWOP ends with Queenie introducing her high school friend Marie, who told Queenie about Red Hat and got the whole thing started. 10 years ago today.